Okay. Martin, waar hula doen you, especially for Agaf. Good morning, everyone. This morning is, or this conference basically has come about by some conversations that we've had with the community as to where the forum should be moving forward. So it's very much about how the forum should move forward and how you can influence it. But I've got the joyous joy of explaining to you what intangible heritage is all about. So I'm trying to make it as easy as I can for you. Just going to get my notes. So the slide that's up on the screen talks about the UNESCO definition of heritage. Heritage is a cultural legacy which we receive from the past, which we live in the present, and which we will pass on to future generations. And I think Alison there described like exactly that we were using the young people of Tyree, and that's the next generation that will take our heritage forward. And it's just a couple, I'm not going to read the other clips, but from Museum and Galleries Scotland, in their place, it clearly defines what intangible heritage is. But I think the one that I like the best about intangible and intangible is from Historic Environment Scotland, which says, it can be a place, an object, or an idea. We can see everything that has been created by people over time, both tangible and intangible. And it sounds complicated, but it's really not. If we split it down into three parts, there's the fabric, the stories, and the culture, and they all come together to produce the cultural heritage that we know of the whole area. And I'm kind of tempted to try the Gaelic, but I don't think I will. Is it Dochas? So that's the description of what we feel like, how we feel about heritage in full. So the fabric is the physical heritage and what we can see and touch. So it's like the castles, everything we can see and touch. If you come in from Tunnel End today, Connell Bridge, as you're arriving into the town, that's part of our tangible heritage. And I think it's about 120 years old this year. The stories are the things that you can hear, see and read. And that probably is the thing with us as a community. We're very aware about what you can see and what you can hear. And I'm sure many of you had a story around a fireside, if not around a fireside, at least around an electric fire, to hear about the stories from the past. And the culture is the connections people have to the historic place. So what's my connection to this area? Well, I was born and brought up in Artatton, so my connection is very much to Artatton, which is outside Oban, and everything that happens out there and all the farming background. So that's my cultural heritage. When I feel I'm going home to Artatton. I have to say I've kind of sidelined a little bit as I get older. So my other cultural place is over in Tyree, where I actually feel that I'm actually part of that whole wider landscape. So fabric, where the physical items remain tangible heritage. And this is where I want you guys to help us out. We want you to get your thinking caps on. We have a membership, and there was a scoping exercise done back in, I think it was about 2012, 2014, which instigated the start of the Police Partnership and the Cultural Heritage and Arts Partnership Assembly. That heritage that was there then, and I've looked at what was there that was scoped then, and I look at what's actually happening now, and there is just so much more that we're actually missing out on. So we want you to get your thinking caps on and think about what comes to mind, big and small. You're out there every day in the wider Argyll and Bute area. What comes to mind that you think is tangible heritage, and we want to capture it. The intangible is the stories and the memories and traditions. And I was sitting last night thinking, what I'm going to say about the memories and stories. So traditions, there's a saying in our household that I'll come up with a superstition or a story. So one of them is about, you're not allowed to pass the salt across the table. You've got to place it on the table. You don't pick it directly from somebody else. And the response I get from the family, and particularly from my husband, is that another over the bridge story? So for those of you that know where Artatton is, you have to cross Connell Bridge to get to Artatton. So I quite often get that thrown to me. Oh, that's just another over the bridge story. So it's about all the memories that you've got and the traditions that happen. And also all the visual records and the written records. So Alison has given a prime example of the Argyll records. I was out on Monday seeing another collection. There are collections all over the place that we're not aware of, and we need to make sure that we're trying to pull it all together. And then finally, the cultural. So it's about connecting your place, and it could be your Gaelic, your settlements, your natural history, all of your past research that's coming, but also who are the groups and the organisations that you would include? So I'm looking around the table and I can see Lismore here. I can see charts here. I can see I'm hoping online all the way over in America. I've got Tyree online over in America at the moment. We've also got others who are, what are the groups that are out there in the organisations from the really small? And it might just be a really small group that is meeting and regularly and looking after the heritage, but also trying to share it to the wider world. So we want them included. If people become members, or if we get enough of a push behind the people that are out there, the idea is that we will work with others to try and get some kind of scoping across Argyll, and it can benefit. Now, I know that not everybody in Argyll wants a visitor landing on their doorstep, but there are a lot of heritage places in Argyll that are reliant on visitors coming to keep them going for the next year. So we really need to think about not just the value of heritage to us personally, but the value to Argyll and Bute as well, with the economic development that can happen through us making sure that the visitor knows where to go when they're here in Argyll, and that they get a nice experience when they're here. It's amazing. We in Oban, Mary and myself, and there's various others, the Oban Heritage Hunters, we already, when we're only a recently established group, are getting inquiries from overseas, wanting people to link to what's happened, where their ancestors came from, and just want to find a bit more about their own families. So it's without a doubt, it's a demand out there that we could possibly capture. And this is where I say it's over to you. When you come in, you were all given your badges and you were told you were on a table number. The tables relate to, there will be facilitated discussions at the table. And this morning, it really is about, why is heritage important to you? Who are the people and organisations you associate as heritage within Argyll? Where are the heritage gems in Argyll and Bute? And there are loads, absolutely loads. And what would a vibrant forum supporting heritage in Argyll and Bute be doing? By the end of the day, we want you to be telling us what you want the forum to do. Please remember there's only 5 of us, but actually there's more than 5, because there's at least 50 odd in here that are all going to help us. So that's me. And I'm going to give you a chance to have another break, go to the tables that you're actually meant to be at. So if you can find out where the table you're at. In each of the rooms, table 1 and 2 is down here. Table 3, 4 and 5 is upstairs, and table 6 is in the Hawthorn. 3, 4 and 5 was in the room you were in before, and table 6 is in the Hawthorn room. There is tea and coffee at the back of the rooms, so help yourself for it. Take your chance to have a comfort break, but most of all, get that gob going. Speak to everybody that's around you. Make sure you're making connections here, and enjoy today, because it is absolutely amazing to see people actually being able to come together and actually move things forward. We are, just as a warning to those that are at table 1, was it Richard? Table 1, or table 2, is going out live. So this room is actually going out live for the whole of the conference. You're quite safe up the stairs. The cameras are off upstairs, but down here it is going live all day. So take a comfort break, make your way to the other rooms, and we'll see you back in the relevant places after lunch. Okay, thank you.